Hey everybody, this is my first episode of the Tourist X or Tourist X. I was already taken, so I had to take the Tourist X. Anyway, this channel is about me and my wife and our adventures around the world, mostly the bad things, because nobody ever tells you about the bad things, do they? They always tell you about the good things. And most of them are travel agents or wannabe travel agents, and they're trying to get you to subscribe. They're trying to get you to like. You know what? Subscribe if you want to hear more of what I have to say around the world, and like it. That's what you want to do too. But if not, that's your that's your deal. I'm going to make these videos whether or not you like them or don't like them because they soothe the soul. My wife and I recently, just the other day, last week, we took a Carnival cruise out of Long Beach. I've been on 8 cruises. This was on the Carnival Firenze, an Italian themed ship. I was worried it was going to be, fake and phony like Las Vegas. And if you haven't been to Las Vegas, a lot of it's fake. So it's like going to Universal Studios, and if you haven't been there, the backlot is mostly fake. Anyway, yeah, for the most part, it was fake. Um, 8 cruises. So we've been on a Carnival cruise. The first cruise I ever went on was Carnival cruise. It was about 20 years ago. I've been on a Norwegian cruise. I've been on 2 Disney cruises. I've been on 2 MSC cruises. I've been on a Royal Caribbean cruise, and then the latest is a Carnival cruise. So the Carnival Firenze out of Long Beach. Oh my God, it was the worst cruise I've ever been on. I would stop cruising if every cruise was like that. That was just terrible, terrible, terrible. I would use other words to describe it, but I want to keep this so if children want to watch it, I guess they can, or if they're watching it with their parents. So let me talk about a little bit about how we got there. We drove from where we live. It's a 5-hour drive, so we drove there and we parked. It was $115 to park for the 5 days that we were gone. A little steep, but parking at LAX or any place else around there was just as expensive. And then we had to take a shuttle, and I hate shuttles. So anyway, from there, we, you know, normal thing, give your luggage to the porter, give the porter a tip for every bag, and that was fine. And then we went over, and we were a little bit early, so they wouldn't let us sit. They wouldn't let us stand in the regular lines. So we were a little bit early. My wife and I were like, "Well, you know what? We're a little bit early, but I don't feel like sitting around here waiting 15 minutes to go on this line." So we went in the early line. Well, an hour and a half later, before we got on the boat, I had brought a 12-pack of Monster with me that had me so completely weighed down by the time I got on the boat, I was walking sideways. My wife was like, "You're walking sideways." And so I was working my posture for a while. It was the first time we had an inside cabin, but we got an inside cabin with the Teresa privileges, which gives you a private deck in the back and uh, pretty much, I guess it gives you a private deck in the back. And anytime dining, you can go dining anytime you want to. You're not required to have a strict time where you have to be there at 6:30, wait in line, and sit with a bunch of people you don't even know, don't want to know. Or maybe you like that. I don't know. I don't like that. So anyway, we opened up our room. It was the first time inside cabin, and you know what? It wasn't so bad at first. However, 5 days later, I had claustrophobia like you wouldn't believe. I had to go out and sit on the deck in the middle of the night when it's 50 degrees outside, the wind blowing, and 20-foot swells just to get the claustrophobia off me. So that was bad. The maid, the cabin attendant, I guess. Sorry, cabin attendant only cleaned our room once a day, which we weren't used to. We were used to 3 times a day on all the other cruise lines. So that was kind of a disappointment. Um, the food. Now I'm comparing this Carnival Firenze, food to all the other cruise ships I've been on. It is by far the worst food ever. I mean, really? How many people on Carnival Cruise eat tuna eggs Benedict? I mean, is that really popular? Because it doesn't remind me of something I want for breakfast. And what about baked beans? Is there a whole bunch of people out there that eat baked beans for breakfast? Oh my God, it was terrible. We ate there one night for dinner. That was enough. We didn't eat there again. We preferred to eat pizza. My wife enjoyed the pizza. She said it was really good. I didn't care for it. The crust was a little thin, but my wife liked it. I liked guys' burgers. Wish they had a spicy burger, but they didn't. But anyway, the fries were good. The burgers were good. I don't really have anything bad to say other than you better be prepared to wait in line for pizza for about 10 to 15 minutes. Guys, burgers about the same. Um, Having said that, most of the stuff is made pretty quick, so there's not much of a problem where that's concerned. We ate in the dining room one night. I had shrimp cocktail. They should have called it the mini shrimp cocktail. You know those little tiny um, shrimp that you buy like at Walmart that are frozen, little tiny ones. I mean, the little, not medium, not XL, not colossal, salad shrimp. Four of them with a little teaspoon of cocktail sauce, no garnish. I didn't set well for what we were expecting for dinner. Then I had their some kind of Italian dish with bacon. It tasted like bacon. When is it? I mean, I'm not Italian, so is bacon a big Italian food? Maybe. Anyway, I didn't enjoy that. It sucked. We didn't go back. My wife didn't enjoy hers. I mean, the little tiny portions. Oh my God, three spoonfuls, and you're done. I mean, actually, aren't you supposed to gain weight on a cruise? Because I lost 2 pounds on that cruise. That's how horrible the food was. So I'm also making this in my garage because I have no studio anywhere else. So if you hear strange noises, well, they're coming from the neighbors or wherever. So I apologize for that. But the lack of things to do. I saw people knitting. My wife and I had to play cards, rummy. We played chess a couple times. I mean, there literally was nothing to do. I mean, if you want to play fringe trivia, I mean, more power to you. You want to listen to terrible, terrible, terrible karaoke people sing. I mean, I've been to some karaoke before, and oh my God, these people, after they've had too much to drink, they just, they shouldn't be up there singing. And speaking of drinks, it's about $16 a drink, but their drink package is for one person like $86 a day. And you can't opt, the other person in the room, whether they don't drink or drink, they can't opt out. So it's $86 per person per day on a 5 day cruise, 6 day cruise. That adds up. We didn't drink anywhere near what it would have been. I think we spent maybe $100. I spent, and mostly it was me drinking, maybe $100. And most of the time they were just alcohol free pina coladas, and even those were $12. Getting the wait staff, the bartenders to even help you sometimes. I mean, if you weren't a 10 and or a model or somebody they actually wanted to converse with, you weren't getting their attention. Now that kind of sucked because I never had that experience in any other cruise I've been on. They're always right there to help you, always want to converse with you, want to know where you're from and all that stuff. These bartenders could care less if you were even there. We had that private Terenza uh, in the back. They didn't check the wristbands. We had yellow wristbands. They didn't check, not a single time. There was nobody back there checking. The, the hot tubs were filled with 18 and 19-year-olds that had early spring break, I guess, and nobody to kick them out. So my wife and I, to enjoy the hot tub, had to go out there, at 6 o'clock in the morning in order to enjoy it. And There are also supposed to be a deck with adults only. Oh, please, that's a joke. If you're expecting that, you better not expect. You better expect something like the Disney ship because they just let the kids go wherever they want to, in the hot tub, and the teenagers are just all in there on each other, just enjoying the hot tub. Can't even. There's no room to fit in all day. It's terrible. You can't get a decent place to sit back there. It was a joke. We went there twice and said, "Hey, we're not doing that again." Um, Gambling. I think we lost about $300 gambling overall. Um, we would win and then we put it back. We win, put it back, win, put it back. Maybe we didn't lose quite that much, but I mean, again, there was nothing to do on the ship. The dance clubs were like at 11 o'clock at night and they played 80s music. How many people from the 80s, like are 60 years old, are going to stay up till 11 o'clock at night on a ship to dance, especially with a bunch of people who don't even understand the music or like the music from the 80s. They're just there to hang out and God knows what else. Well, the last night we were there was a big low front coming in across the Northern California or Oregon, and it affected us way down below, Ensenada. And while we're speaking of Ensenada, I'm going to go ahead and talk about that. Ensenada was actually pretty good. I've been there before. I usually had a pretty good time there. We didn't do any shore excursions. They weren't sold out, and maybe we should have. We probably should have. I would love to have ridden the horses, but we didn't do a shore excursion. We went to Cabo, and it was like getting off the airport in Cancun. Every single person trying to sell you an excursion. Everyone. And they won't. You can't go to town unless you take a taxi. You can't go to town unless you take a taxi. It's a 10-minute walk, people. Please, if you feel like walking along the water where people keep the slips for the sailboats and stuff, it's a 10-minute walk. Um, that was terrible, and so we literally just went back to the ship. It was no fun whatsoever, and you better bring money if you plan on using the restroom in Cabo San Lucas because they wanted to charge me $5 to go in the restroom, $5 to go out of the restroom. I showed them my wallet, which I didn't have any money in. Showed them I didn't have any money, and I had to go to the bathroom really bad. And so they laughed at me, and I didn't care. They let me use the restroom, and in the meantime, for them laughing and continuing to laugh at me, you know what? Maybe I used a little bit too much toilet paper. I'm just saying, maybe, perhaps I did. Maybe the joke's on them. Anyway, moving on from there and back to um, getting with that night with that low pressure system. We had, 15, 20-foot swells. That ship was built in like oh no, excuse me, felt like 2015. And it's an old Costa ship that was just kind of remodeled into the Firenze in 2021. That ship creaked, made noises, and everything else. And let me compare this and say this: that we were on the MSC seashore during a hurricane, and the ship didn't get me sick. It didn't make a bunch of noises. I was able to sleep, no problem whatsoever. But this ship, I got sick. I threw up. Um, we couldn't sleep. I took Dramamine. I OD'd on Dramamine just so I could sleep. I took melatonin. Um, couldn't sleep. I think I actually went to bed about 4 o'clock in the morning. The next day we were late getting back because of the storm, and we drove home. And it was hard to stay awake during the drive. My wife did most of the driving. She got more sleep than I did. So bless her heart. Debarkation. What a freaking nightmare. If you're going to take the Carnival Firenze out of Long Beach, bring your new ID, your new travel ID or whatever it is, or your birth certificate. Because if you're going to bring your passport, it took us an hour and a half to get off the ship. Line, and they give you this number like you check out on their app when you want to leave, right? And so we we got D. So they call ABC D at first, and we were packed. We were ready to go. So you can't take the elevators because everybody else is trying to get off the ship who does not have those letters, and they're not going to let you off the ship. They're going to check your phone. They're going to tell you get out of line. But that clogged it up. The elevators were used for the handicapped people, so we can use those. But we were on the fifth floor. We had to go down to the third floor. By the time we got to the fourth floor, we were in line. When we got in line there, we were in line all the way around the atrium, all the way out the ship, all the way inside the area with we used to house that giant airplane. Um, in there, going through customs, and them telling us passports to the left, birth certificates to the right. There was no line for the birth certificates. If we had a birth certificate with us, we'd have been in our car in 10 minutes. But no, no, no. We brought our passport just to be safe. Not doing that again. Well, I'm safe to say at this point, I'm never going to cruise Carnival again unless they pay me to and want to give me a really good experience. I'm not doing it. It was out of Long Beach. I mean, I don't know what it's like over in Florida or anywhere else, but Long Beach, forget it. It's the worst experience I've ever had. So there you have it. I hope I covered everything. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Um, on Carnival's website, it shows it shows this wonderful spa with these thermal spa rooms and stuff. We got there, they didn't have any. That ship has no thermal spa whatsoever, and we couldn't get a day pass. They said you could get your nails done, get your hair done, get a massage, but they didn't have a hot tub back there. They didn't have, like MSC, one of the MSC seashore we were on, it has snow room, and cold shower, hot shower, misting. They didn't have any of that. My wife was so disappointed because Carnival's website, they lie. Oh, and one more thing about the gambling I wanted to mention. If you don't go to the cage, the cashier, and get the money that you've won, you're not going to see that money. They made all the winnings go on your card, but it's deceptive because unless unless you're a fluent Carnival cruiser, you would know because all the rest of the machines I've had, the winnings go right directly to your card. They don't go to a bank. Then you got to put on your card to go get money. That's stupid. I've never had that happen before. Anyway, so be aware of that if you're on car. Make sure you take it from the bank and you put it on your card and go to the cashier and get your money. Well, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that if you love standing in lines and having a miserable time, take the Carnival Firenze. But if you like having a good time with good food, good entertainment, take the MSC. They say it's a budget ship, but no, it's not. It's not budget at all. Some of the best yacht club, especially. Oh my God, it's amazing. Um, Royal Caribbean, we just had a balcony. I mean, we got to see an ice skating show, water show. There was so much going on all the time. We were never bored. We had a 7-day cruise. We were never bored. Norwegian, we just went to Galveston, went down to Cozumel with that one too. And you know what? It was a pretty good cruise. And it was a long time ago, but it was a pretty good cruise. The hot tubs were actually hot, and we could actually get in them. Um, so I hope you'll explore those on. And we've been on 2 Disney cruises, and you know what? There's little kids running around, but there aren't teenagers running around. So that was those cruises are fun too as well. Good food, good entertainment. Always had a blast on the Disney cruises. Well, that's it. Have any comments? I don't know if there's a comment box down there or not, but this is me, Tourist X, saying don't take the Firenze out of Long Beach. All right. Bye, everybody.